What's up guys, Asian here again with another theory crafting video, and today we're going to be going over Daedric Mines, or is it Daedric Tombs? Daedric Tomb. So this is an interesting skill that a lot of Sorcs have well, not a lot, but a fair amount of Sorcs have kind of been using to improve their DPS. So you can see here I have the Daedric Tomb morph. That's the one that you're going to want to pick if you're going to be using this strat, not the Daedric Minefield one. It says, surprise your foes with paying 3 volatile Daedric mines at a target location which arm instantly and last for 36 seconds. When a mine is triggered, it explodes, dealing X amount of magic damage and immobilizing the enemy for 1.8 seconds. As you level this up to level 4, it just deals more damage overall. Doesn't reduce the cost, doesn't reduce the immobilization time, doesn't increase the duration that the mines last for. So a lot of people have been using this instead of Daedric Curse instead, or Haunting Curse, because if you manage to get 2 of those mines to hit, it deals much more damage than Daedric Curse will over both of those 2 explosions. Let's see here. So you can see here that Haunting Curse deals about 23k, but if you manage to get 2 of these to go off, you deal, I believe it's almost 18k, but it's an instant cast. You don't have to wait I think it's like 15 seconds for Haunting Curse to hit twice. The downside is, of course, Daedric Tomb is twice as expensive as Haunting Curse, so there's kind of that issue. So the only builds that I know of that are using Daedric Tomb are the ones that are using heavy attack builds. But even then, you kind of have to consider whether you want to use Curse over Daedric Tomb, because the problem with Daedric Tomb is that you need to basically place the tombs in a very specific spot for each boss, and it's very difficult to do so if the boss is moving around. So that's kind of what Daedric Tomb looks like. It's kind of set up in a triangle, with the point, one point being all the way up here, then you have the 2 corners here, and it's always going to look like that depending on where you face. So if I put it here, or here, it's always going to be a triangle, but the exact orientation is pretty much always going to stay the same no matter where you put it. But it is going to vary somewhat based on the direction that you're facing. So now, what I was talking about with trying to get 2 of them to hit, we're going to try to hit this target dummy here with 2 of them. So if we see here, see if I can get it just right. You can see there I got 2 mines to hit. Let's see if we can do it again, second time. Okay, yeah, I got 2 of them to hit again. Then I got 2 more to hit. So when we look at our common metrics, I should see 6 hits from Daedric Tomb. Yeah, so you can see here I got 2 of those mines to hit a single target dummy. So I got 6 hits instead of 3. So that's kind of what people are aiming to do. It's the trying to get 2 of those, 2 or 3, or all 3 of those mines to hit. Now I have heard that you can get all 3, but I've never actually seen it happen. So I'm going to go ahead and test that out right now on a couple of different raid bosses. We're going to start off with St. Ohms just because he has the largest hitbox, so if I can hit 3 on Ohms, then we know that it is possible to hit 3 on any boss as long as the hitbox is large enough. So we're going to head into Asylum. Let me put my shield on so I can survive his hits. I don't know how hard he hits on normal, but still want to put that on just in case. Alright, so we're just going to go into against Ohms and see how many Daedric mines actually hit him. Ohms is also very nice to test on because he's pretty much immobile for most of the fight. He might do his gust of steam, and he might shift around here and there, but he more or less he's just pretty much stable. Alright, so let's go ahead and toss him. Okay, so that time I only got 2 to hit. 2 to hit again. So let's see if I can keep him there. See if I can get that third one to actually hit. Okay, so it seems like that third mine isn't going off, even though he's pretty much directly on top of it. So yeah, it seems like... Okay, so his hitbox seems to be a little bit funky. I'm not able to consistently get 2 mines to go off. But there we go. Okay. So it does seem like you can only get 2 of those mines to go off at a time. You saw that the third mine, even though he was pretty much standing right on top of it, didn't go off. So let's try this again. Okay, so we saw 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can see here, this is kind of the difficulty in using Daedric Tomb. That was only 1, 2. Okay. So you can see kind of that's kind of the difficulty in using Daedric Tomb. Even on a boss with as large of a hitbox as St. Olms, you have to be very careful with placement of the mines in order to get at least 2 to go off. Because if you're only getting 1 to go off, then it's a waste of a cast. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So he was pretty much walking right over that mine. See if I can get him to walk over the third one. Come on, bud. Okay. Okay, so we did manage to get all 3 mines to hit. So this does seem like it's possible with a large enough hitbox for all 3 mines to go off, just not at the same time. It does seem like it needs to be in a very specific spot. Okay, so that's kind of Daedric Tomb. So just so you guys can kind of see how it would work against the boss itself. So you know, the key takeaway points here is that the damage potential for Daedric Tombs is quite high because it is an instant cast and it deals 16 up to 18k in terms of hits whenever you cast it if you get 2 mines to go off. Now that's kind of the big point there. You need to get at least 2 mines to go off, and as we saw now with the testing with St. Olms, it's a little bit trickier than it sounds. So it's definitely has great DPS potential. It's just a very difficult skill to use. You basically need to cast it at the right spots against the boss's hitbox in order to get them to actually hit. Plus, on a more mobile boss, for example, St. Felms or St. Olm, or not St. Olm, St. Lothus, the Warrior in HRC, maybe even the Twins in Maw, you know, those fights, Daedric Tomb isn't going to be as useful as something like Haunting Curse. Yes, Haunting Curse will probably pull lower DPS, but at the very least, all you have to do is just cast it once every 14-15 seconds, and it'll do its damage. Daedric Tomb is both expensive, it's twice as expensive, and you're not guaranteed to get at least 2 mines off every single cast, especially on those more mobile bosses. But it does seem like you can get all 3 to hit a boss if you're lucky, and if the boss does have a large enough hitbox, it just doesn't seem to be very consistent. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys found it informative, and I'll see you guys in the next dungeon.